There is a lot of hi-fi equipment that comes through the doors here at Cheap Audio Man Studios. Some of it I never listen to again. Others I continue to come back to. So today's video is about products that are way better than I thought they were. Even when I already thought they were good. They've become a bit of a reference. So sit down, grab a cup of coffee, and let's talk about these exceptionally awesome hi-fi products. If you're new here or you're not subscribed, now is the best time to subscribe. Why? Because we're at 199,000 subscribers. 200. Only about 800 before we hit 200,000 subscribers. And when we hit 200,000 subscribers, we're giving away a whole bunch of stuff. Speakers, amps, turntables, headphones, headphone amps, DACs, streamers, a whole bunch of stuff. So if you want to sign up, just fill out the Google form that I'll link right here in the description and the pinned comment. Follow me on Instagram at Cheap Audio Man, and of course, subscribe and like this video. Thank you so much for watching. Products that I thought were better than they actually are, even though I thought they were awesome to begin with. The Goldring E4, I didn't give it its own video because it's hard to give a phono cartridge its own video, but I did talk about the Goldring E4 in the Michelle turntable, or cheap versus expensive turntable, which maybe I'll link right here. Anyway, I had that mounted to a Michelle turntable, which the whole rig was about $3,100. And I got it wrong in the review when I said it was $400. The E4 from Goldring is only $300. It has a lot of the same characteristics as the Ortofon 2M Blue, but I think it's a little bit more dynamic and a little bit more open on the top end. It's like when you hear something and you're like, this is the best, this is the reference. And then when you hear something better, you're like, oh, this is the best, this is the reference. And for me, the E4 from Goldring is a $300 moving magnet cartridge, and it is now my new reference cartridge. Goldring E4, $300. It's awesome. And I've been using it constantly. The Rotel A11 Mark II. There's something so simplistic about this amplifier, but yet it has a sonic characteristic that it's super clean, but I don't think I've heard that sound. There's something about the sound that just keeps pulling me back in. One of the only products that after the review, I brought it directly into the office so I could keep listening to it. It's the combination with the extraordinary phono preamp, and then the conservative power numbers. I get such a kick of how humble this amplifier is, or how humble the engineers were when they stated the rated output. It lacks some of the features like a subwoofer output, but if I was going to keep this in my system long term, what I would do is I would get the A10 version that doesn't have a DAC and then add my own DAC. You're going to save even more money. But for an integrated amplifier, the A11 Mark II has become somewhat of a reference for me. It's spectacular. Very simple. Understated, but it'll get you. The Kiwi Ears Cadenza IEM is $33, and it is a great IEM. I think it competes with IEMs all the way into the 100, sometimes two. Here's the thing, there's some $200 IEMs that just aren't very good. The cadenzas are balanced, a little bit punchy, and just fun, but more importantly, they're cheap. So for me, they've become a bit of a go-to IEM when I'm on the road, waiting to go see doctors because I'm getting older. You can get the cadenzas and a $7 Lightning to 3.5 millimeter connector, which is a decent little DAC to connect to your iPhone, and just throw it in your bag for 40 bucks. If you get the fit just right with the ear tips, you can cancel out a lot of noise, but the Tin Hi-Fi T2s used to be kind of a reference for me, under $50, but the cadenzas have replaced them. A lot of fun, super cheap. Couldn't be a Cheap Audio Man video if I don't talk about Emotiva. The XDA-3 is basically a digital-centric preamp that is truly differential, but it also has one analog input, so you could use this as a fully functioning preamp. You go right into the analog input with a phono preamp. There's two outputs, a balanced differential output and then an RCA output. So you can hook up a sub using the RCA output if you're going balanced out of the XDA-3 into your amplifier. Two-channel focused, although you do get an HDMI eARC input. So this becomes if you're only into two-channel, this becomes a really solid preamp slash DAC that you can use to watch TV and movies through your awesome two-channel setup, 2.1 channel probably. If you connect the XDA-3 to an Emotiva differential amplifier, you are going to be in for a treat. And that's really where this thing shines. It shines with it's got a really good DAC in it, shines with the HDMI eARC, and then it shines with the truly differential. That's why you're really buying this product. You can hook it up to anything right now, but what I would do is buy this thing and then save up for a differential amp from Emotiva. For me, the DR1 amplifiers from Emotiva are the best amplifier I've ever heard. Period. And I've heard some higher end amplifiers, but they are pretty expensive, over $1,000 a piece. Since it has an RCA out, you can connect it to pretty much any amplifier you want. Something truly special about the XDA-3 DAC slash preamp from Emotiva, and has become a bit of a reference for me. The SMSL AL200, the SMSL DL200. This is a DAC amp, or it's a speaker amp with a DAC in it. They both have the same small footprint, actually. This is what it looks like right here. This is the AL200. I was shocked at the DL200 headphone DAC amp. I was actually going to give this away until I thought, gosh, I really need to hold on to this thing because it's a reference, especially for my Dan Clark Aeon RT close backs, because those are 13 ohm headphones and completely hard to drive. The AL200 surprisingly packs a huge punch, drove any speaker that I threw at it, and has some very useful baked in EQs, and has a super clean sonic signature, and it has a very good DAC inside. All of these are super cheap. The DL200 comes in at $190. The AL200, I think, comes in less than $250. Both have remote controls. Blown away with both of these products. Excellent, excellent, small, slim products that are actually built very well from SMSL. AL200, DL200. And finally, the Q Acoustics 5020 bookshelf speaker. I could also include the 5040 floor standing, the bigger brothers of the 5020. But the 5020 from Q Acoustics has had more time in my living room next to my console than any other speaker I've had for the last year. And there's a reason for that. It has a special tonality. It's not harsh. It's neither bright nor is it warm. It's neutral, but yet dynamic and fun, and just has a tone that pulls you in. It pulls me back in. It's a little bit on the pricey side too. I think it comes in around $800 or $900 for a 5¼ inch bookshelf speaker. That seems really expensive. And it is, if it didn't demand that price point. I really believe you're getting $800 or $900 worth of hi-fi out of this thing. And it really will scale up with your equipment. There is enough transparency there that you could throw very expensive amplification and DACage on this thing, and it's going to sound incredible. It's going to continue to get better as you put better equipment on it. So those are some of the products that I've come back to over and over again this year. And sometimes it takes a little bit of time. It takes a little bit of listening to other products before you really understand just how exceptional these products are. And you can't really convey that when you're doing the initial review because you just haven't had enough time to go back and listen to it. But these are the products that continue to come back and have truly become references for me. So if you want to support the channel, you can sign up for Patreon. Patreon.com/cheapaudioman. Every Sunday night we have Patreon-only Zooms, Patreon-only Discord, Patreon-only Facebook group. You can also use the links in the description. Most of those will be affiliate links, which means if you click anybody, get a commission. Doesn't cost you any more though, so it's a great way to support the channel. You can also buy me a cup of coffee. Down at the bottom of the video, there's a thanks button. Click, give me $1 or $2, but don't feel compelled to buy me anything. You can also sign up for Amazon Music, Tidal, or Roon. Links in the description. Click sign up. Even if you quit, I still get a couple of dollars. So don't binge watch anything on Netflix or Hulu. Binge listen, maybe through one of these awesome reference products for me, and fill your soul with happiness. And with that, I'm Randy. I'm the Cheap Audio Man.